This is the story about how trolls and an author not so good with his words may have possibly ruined us having the best James Bond we've ever seen. So in 2015, the search for a new James Bond had been on the way. James Bond is a serial kind of role where an actor never plays really more than a few movies of the character. And at that time, the mantle was then given to someone else. Recently, it was Daniel Craig. Before Daniel Craig, it was Pierce Brosnan. Before Pierce Brosnan, someone else, and then the list goes on. As Daniel Craig was wrapping up his last movie, a new James Bond was apparently supposed to be picked, and one of the options, a very famous British actor, well, they have to be British pretty much to be James Bond, Idris Elba. Now, what set Idris Elba apart from James Bonds from old was that he's black. He's a black British man. Now, as you know, we live in a world of trolls and a world of people that are very opinionated about things that they really shouldn't be opinionated about. So you can imagine the kind of tweets and things that went out commenting on the possible selection of Idris Elba as a potential James Bond. James Bond was written by Ian Fleming, but there's been many books, and Anthony Horowitz is one of the authors that has helped pen some of the books. He told the Daily Mail, "For me, Idris Elba is a bit too rough to play the part. It's not a color issue. I think he's probably a bit too street for Bond. Is it a question of being suave? Yeah." Horowitz concluded, "Clumsily, I chose the word street as Elba's gritty portrayal of DCI John Luther was in my mind, but I admit it was a poor choice of word. I am mortified to have caused offense." So he later tried to clean it up. But with the comments from the James Bond author as well as troll comments, this led Idris Elba to really not have much interest into the role of James Bond. I think Idris Elba actually would have been the perfect fit for James Bond. He arguably would have came into the role with more fame than previous James Bonds. The whole thing with James Bond is that you have to be British, handsome, charismatic, and you have to be able to, throw them hands and shoot. And, he has that and spades. He has that and more. If he doesn't take the role, I feel like we've missed out on a good James Bond. But obviously, that role is meant for someone a little bit younger. He is 52, so he may have missed his time. So age may have just eliminated him from the running. Like, you have to think about it, he has to do multiple movies, so he has to be the James Bond for at least 3 or 4 movies. Idris Elba went on to say something which I think is true. He went on to say later in a interview how he's probably gotten more fame of being the guy to turn down James Bond than probably any other previous person being considered. But since all this, we have had a few other names thrown into the ring for who could be the next 007 James Bond. One of those names being Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was in Craven, Avengers, Nosferatu. We also have Daniel Kaluuya, who was in Get Out, Nope. So, yeah, and there's a few others. But yeah, let me know who you guys think would be a great James Bond 007. Stay blessed.